How you doing, big guy? You doing all right? Better. Have beer?
Well, I'll take a half a
All right. It's after 7. You know, Russ, if you weren't in the bar drinking all the whole time, you were in there the whole time, and look, all these people backed up, and it's time for And the nicest too. Except for me. Well, and me. Well, no, I'm the one that actually counteracts you. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Do we have anyone who has never been here before or non-member? Anybody, anywhere? Jason? That's true. Yay, Betty! She loves me. She does. Okay. To, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's good.
Over here, too.
Do I have a second mic? Or?
K-E-A-E-H-G.
All right, let us know. That's okay. Go
Hi,
ahead.
I'm Mike, K-E-8-E-H-G.
Dave, KCA-WVH.
Nice.
All right, thank you. Thanks for being here. And
Could we hear that one again, please?
what's your call again?
KCA-WVH.
WVH. All right.
Get everybody, Gary.
So what are we doing with this?
That's just a mic, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Rick Lafferty. Thanks for having me this evening.
You have a call?
KF8AXM.
All right. Very good. Thank you. All right. I do want to welcome everybody and for the field day edition of the Sarah business meeting, or Sarah membership meeting, I should say. And again, we are the nicest and obviously the best looking. Okay. I have T-shirts. If you have not gotten your T-shirt, or if you would like to purchase one, I have field day T-shirts. I also have some Barometer Net T-shirts left over. If you would like to purchase one, or if you would like to pick up, if you haven't picked up your field day T-shirt, I have them here. So we'll take care of that tonight as well. I'm sorry.
Do you have anything 5X left?
No.
Because it says 2XL to 6XL. False advertising.
Okay. That's what I think.
President lied.
Okay.
It still says.
All right, other announcements. We have a scheduled VE session. It's going to be at a different venue. We're going to be in Wayne County. Stefan, do you you have anything to say? We got the license. I'm sorry, the VE session.
Yeah, so the only thing, we had a little snafu on this last testing session because of everything that happened with the ARRL. So like everything got posted by this week.
Okay.
So it took them like 3 weeks or so to get everything up. I uploaded the very day we took the test, like that afternoon, but they've been so backlogged because of their getting hacked and stuff. So we should have no problem by August when we're at the new locations. I think that's all been set up.
And it's going to be this location for the foreseeable future. Is that what I understood? Yeah. Okay. Okay, very good. And the Mansfield Midsummer Trunk Fest is coming up next month, July 9th.
Last year.
That's a Tuesday. It's July 6th.
Okay.
And it's the 2000.
Is that close enough, the 9th?
2024.
If you miss it on the 6th, then just go on the 9th. Yeah, Jerry.
There will also be a VE session at the Trump Fest at 9 a.m.
9 a.m.? Okay, and it's July 6th? Okay, I'll print a retraction. Yeah.
And it's this year, not last year.
Okay.
Hey, I'm just trying to keep it. I love it when I'm back in the room and everybody's laughing and they stop.
Yeah. Okay. And the Sarah Family Picnic, we do have, I love this slide from last month actually, and I couldn't do away with it. But anyway, we do have a date now. It's August 18th. It'll be at the Eagles Pavilion right outside here. and it should be a great time. Our chef du jour is Russ, as you can see. Let's see if this thing works. Yeah, probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, probably 1 o'clock, Russ. That,
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
yeah, 1 o'clock and runs until we run out.
And we're having bologna sandwiches.
Bologna sandwiches.
You're the one that's pretty much full of baloney.
All right, I'm the bologna guy.
Okay, so anyway, mark your calendars for the August 18th for the Eagle. We're going to be at the Eagles Pavilion again, and it should be a good time. So if we have a bunch of people here, it'll be a bunch of good times. So there you have it. And yeah, Russ is cooking again. Huh. Gotta love it.
I got something to say.
What?
My brain is kind of toast, and there was somebody here that was trying to sell me on some sausages. Do you remember who that was?
Jimmy Dean.
No.
Mark. KG4SCK. Mark.
Is he here?
Yes.
Where is he at?
He's waving his hand back there.
He got his hand way back in the back.
Oh, my God. I'm gonna order those. You like them? Yeah, they're all right.
That's a ringing endorsement. Sincerity extraordinaire.
Burn your heartbeat.
They're a little spicy, but not too bad.
Don't hold back. Tell him how you really feel.
I do.
Okay.
All right, we also have a date, as you already know. I think we announced that last month, July 20th. Dave is picking up the Fox, and
I got the Fox from Jason, July 20th. We will start from the Bueller's parking lot, which is the traditional starting point in Wadsworth. 10 o'clock seems like a good starting point, starting time. And I have not yet picked a destination. Traditionally, what we do is you get an envelope that will have the answer sealed inside, and you will check your mileage before you start, and then we'll check your mileage when you get there. Least amount of miles is the winner of the Blackberry Pie, not the first arrivals, so do not get a speeding ticket or get into an accident trying to be the first
I
one.
want to rent.
The choices are for that I heard so far. They're cherry, strawberry, pecan, blackberry, or blueberry.
Blackberry.
I'm going to the local pie shop in Coffee, Parcel Coffee. So it's homemade pie. So, blackberry.
do you have an antenna?
I have a J-pole. Maybe we'll come up with something else.
I have something if you need it. Let me
All
know.
right, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions about the fox hunt? Yes, sir.
I'd just like to mention that fox hunting is a team sport in this situation. Don't be trying to drive around by yourself going like this. So find a partner and team up.
Yeah.
Unless you have a Barry Humans set up, which is a, you know, like those mounts where you put the side mirror on your truck? Well, he's got that for his directional antenna. So Barry drives and he's out here doing this number. Works. Anyway. All right, any other questions on this?
Does Betty get a participation pie?
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. Betty gets anything she wants.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
She's not getting the 7,300.
Absolutely. I don't have any grandchildren. I just have grand dogs. So. Did I miss something?
No, I said she's not getting the 7,300. Maybe.
Maybe sometime on down the line.
Well, by then it'll be a 7,400.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, there you go. All right, next up, our POTA event recap. Yeah, all you. Do you want the, here's the microphone.
I think that's John.
Can you hear me? All right. I haven't seen these pictures yet, so I want to take a minute. Best looking hams in the hobby. Very good. Absolutely. What is that? Oh, that's the drone. That's the guy. So we had somebody who So Chris, KO4CBH, and his buddy Mike actually showed up, and they brought a 40-meter station. They had a 40-meter dipole that they put over 2 trees using a drone with goggles. So that was the coolest way to put an antenna in the tree that I've seen. But it was pretty good. They made a lot of contacts. So wanted to say thanks to everybody who came out for that. We had a great turnout. People were coming and going all day. Particularly want to say thanks to Tom and Linda for bringing the cupcakes. Let's see, the bands were kind of tough that day, but we made, let's see, what did we make? We made 155 contacts. Let's see, we had a whole bunch of different clubs involved. We actually made contact with a couple of museum ships, since it was museum ships on the air weekend. The Colonel James M. Schoonmaker, K8E in Toledo, and the USS Batfish from Oklahoma, which is where Ray, K5CFY, had let us know that some of his buddies were going to be out at that sub, and we actually made contact, so that was pretty cool. We had a whole bunch of new hams stop by. People were interested in the hobby, so it was really neat for that. Nick burned some burgers and dogs. Actually, they were really good. They were really good. Lucy, and I quote, said they were the best hamburgers that she has ever had, so. Or me. I literally make her hamburgers every weekend this summer.
I'll give you a lesson.
Yeah. So that was awesome. Let's see. We had a grand total of 12 park-to-park contacts. We had 5 Northeast Ohio clubs who went out and did activations, and 1 other individual, Rich, AF1K. NORS, we contacted on 15 and 40 meters. We had Warren Club, who we contacted. Cuyahoga Falls, and turns out the Massillon Club went out. I didn't know about that till yesterday. I was looking through the logs and saw that the Massillon Club went out, so that was cool. W8EDU, Case Western Reserve also went out, and they made 13 contacts. We didn't hear them, though. Yeah, it turned out really good. We had 155 total contacts, 74 on phone, 76 on data, so pretty good, 5 CW, and I'm trying to think what else. I want to say thanks to Chris, KO4CBH, for doing single sideband, his buddy Mike, KF8AKL, for doing sideband. Brandon, KARB from PCARS, came out, and he was doing FT8. He made a contact on 10 watts all the way to Africa on FT8, which was pretty cool. That was really awesome. Javen came out, W8UA, and was doing CW, and I think a buddy of his from Akron, too. Ben, K8BHQ, thank you for coming out, doing sideband and helping out. Really appreciate it. Phil, K8PMI, doing sideband. Mark was doing satellite. Mark's in the back. That was pretty cool. Lane, KD8JJF, doing FT8 in the van. Thanks for showing up, Lane, and for all your help. And Nick, doing FM, the repeater work. So I think that's pretty much everything. The only other thing I was going to mention was on July 27th, PCARS has reached out to us. They invited us. They want to do a multi-club POTA event as well now. They invited us to either activate a park in the nearby area. They're going to be, I think, in the Lake Milton area. So they invited us on July 27th to either join them or to activate a park ourselves. So raise of hands, who would be interested in joining PCARS at their event? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Who would be interested in Sarah activating our own park? Mark, 2, 3, closer. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Sounds good. So yeah, thanks everybody. I think it turned out really well. Where does this go? Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right, and the star of the show, right here, huh? Look at that. I'm telling you. And there's Serenity, in case anybody needs to escape somewhere quick. Just beware the air conditioner doesn't work.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. And anybody else? Any other announcements? Doug.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up that many of you know Bill Knopf, and he's usually seated right here. He had a kidney transplant a week ago today. So he is at home and he's doing well. I talked with him last night, and he was kind of worn down a little bit, but I checked with him while I was here and
Thanks, Dan. Or Doug, I'm sorry. Okay, anybody else? For the good of the cause. The May meeting minutes. Okay, we sent those out. Fred did a great job on those. As a matter of fact, I really didn't do anything with formatting or anything. All I did was add the logo at the top of the page, and the rest was very humanistically devised. I thought it was really, really pretty nice touch. So thank you, Fred. Well, that too. Motion to adopt the minutes from May. Stefan, second. Mike, third. Oh, we don't need a third. Okay, any dissension? I hear none, so the minutes have been adopted. All right, next we have, notice this. That was what we ended up giving Zeke's widow, Judy, and that kind of inflated our balance since it went through our account. But anyway, I was really happy that we could do that for Zeke, and we had some benefit here, some antennas and some assorted gear. Anything of any real value, I mean, not real value, just sellable value, I guess. I think we sold for the most part. And let's see, Mike, anything else?
No, looks like it's pretty well straightforward. I wish we did have the $13,451.81.
Put it in there.
What? But we had to go ahead and take care of, that is right.
For sure. Okay, any questions on the treasurer's report? Motion to adopt. Stefan, Jeff, second. Any dissension? All right, the report is adopted. Okay, I'm done. What do you mean? What?
The agenda says this, and I don't get it.
No, the agenda doesn't say this.
Yes, it does.
No, no. The agenda doesn't.
What does the agenda say?
It doesn't say numbers don't lie.
Oh,
Here.
I say that.
Yeah, you say that.
Okay.
Here you go.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
What am I talking about?
Numbers don't lie.
Okay.
Here, here's this.
What's this?
When you want to forward the slide, hit that button.
This is the only slide I have.
No, you have two slides.
I have two slides, then you hold the button for me. All right. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, honestly, we're not married. I mean, we're not.
Can everybody hear us? Remind me not to wear this into the bathroom.
We don't need that.
All right, I'm going to talk very briefly about Field Day because Jason has all the interesting stuff. All right, so I'm just rounding people up and telling everybody when to be where and hopefully filling some chairs and getting some butts in seats. But the slide behind me, numbers don't lie. Anyone care to guess what those numbers are?
When you were born.
No. Any other guesses tonight?
When you're gonna die.
I don't know. If I knew that, I'd tell you.
The ledger of my bank account.
What's that? Okay. I'm giving you the winners. All right. So last year we ran a 6 alpha station, so we could run 6 radios at a time, and we ran off of emergency power the whole time. And the group, the club that did best, had 4,667 contacts, and they scored 18,706 points. So what do you think those other two numbers are? That's Sarah Club. All right. We had a good time, and we always have a good time, but we really didn't perform very well numbers-wise. Okay? So this year it'd be nice if we could maybe get some butts in seats, concentrate on making some contacts, and maybe score a little higher in the echelon. And Jason and I talked about running 7 Alpha because we're adding the 2 meter, 70 centimeter, 6 meter station, so we can run up to 7 stations at a time. And one of the other facets of that is that the 7 Alpha station last year scored 12,000 points that won. So I'm kind of trying to give us an advantage there because they scored less points than the 6 Alpha. So if we add another radio, we're in another class, and maybe we can score a little better. Better. If that sort of thinking makes any sense to anybody, then you win.
We're gonna score.
Yeah, we're going to score. You're going to score, Scott. Yeah, you are. Speaking of scoring, I'll just talk briefly about that. 1 point for voice, 2 points for CW, 2 points for digital FT8 stuff. So we'll be running some FT8, right, Lane? Absolutely. Hopefully Javen will make it out and get us some CW points, and maybe Gary will sit down and bang out a key for a while. We get power multipliers for emergency power for each transceiver. So we get some extra points there. We get 100 points for public location, 100 points for public information table. Thank you, Gary. We're going to try to make some satellite contacts this year. Last year at 2 in the morning we dabbled with it. We had some fun, but we didn't complete the contact. But this year we've practiced a little bit. We've got some better gear, I think. And we're going to be shooting for some satellite contacting as well. Educational activity this year. Last year we did a soldering thing. This year, Mark, Mr. Safety Officer there, is setting up some propagation charts and a little table with information about how antennas work. And we're going to go that route. Doesn't have to be occupied the whole time. We'll get 100 points with Ken being there representing local Aries. I usually get the mayor to come in, but he's out of town this year. So I may be able to get one of the council members from Rittman to come in. We'll see how that works. 50 points for web submission and 100 points for safety officer. KG4 SCK, this will be his second year doing that. Stand up for a second, Mark. Mark's job, yes. Mark follows me around to make sure I don't do anything stupider than usual and protect all you guys from everything. Markers for the guy lines, covering up all the wiring. Yeah. All that kind of stuff. So he's got a checklist he goes through, and we get 100 points for that as well. So we're starting off with a pretty good amount of bonus points, and we just need butts and seats and work these things. So we're putting up the antenna early, 8 a.m., right, Jason? That's the shooting time. So antenna crew guys, we're going to be there early. Let's get it done before the sun gets hot. It's supposed to be 95, 96. So hopefully we'll have a little time to sit down and just chill and rest before the show starts from 2 to 5 is public hours. That's when we want to get people sitting down at radios and trying things out. Then we'll stay there all night long and try to make some points and score this year. All right, next slide. Woohoo! All right, a lot of preparation has gone into this, even though it doesn't seem that way. I can't even, I'd still be doing the math on the antennas. Thank you, Jason. And Jason put together the antennas, and there it is up in the air. I don't know if you guys can see that from back there, but it's pretty impressive once we get it up there. And Jason's going to talk at length about that, so I'm not going to. Someone else, a person of mention, Ron, who drives me around every weekend, KB8LNK. Here he is rebuilding the generator that went south on us last year. So that should be pretty helpful. And we're operating 2 towers this year, 1 mast, and this crank-up tower that is kind of on the back of Ron's, what do you call that, roll truck? Rollback, there you go. So we'll be putting up both of the antennas, and that should be pretty exciting, and it works pretty good. So a lot of extra work's gone into this. Of course, everybody else who's bringing radios. I got to tell you, I took my shack apart today to get my radio out, and it's not fun. It took me like 20 minutes to take it apart. It'll take me 4 hours to put it back together. So everybody, if you can make it out, do it. If you can't make it to ours, make it to one of them. And if you want to help the club, where's that email? You want to talk that you can play at home, if you will. Thank you. And use your own call sign from at home, but when you put your points in, under the club or group name, select Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association. And the ARRL will aggregate our scores, and if you don't want to come out in the heat and you're going to play from home, do it. Just make sure that you get us on there under the log so that we can get some points for it too. So you can play along at home. That's all I got.
Just remind them, we're not in the heat at Field Day.
Oh, no, 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 no. We have air conditioning.
As long as people keep the doors shut.
Okay. I got a story for you two later on. Anyway, so yeah, air conditioning. I'm going to get there really, really dark and early and get the air conditioning working so that hopefully we can get on top of the 90-degree heat and keep it cool in there. And we're going to be working, most of the guys on radios are going to be in that little room this year. And Scott's bringing us a hyper-industrial fan that's going to keep it cool in that room for everybody.
And when I have done my homework, and I make sure that the ducting is long enough for it, that we don't get a lot of wind noise from it.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Questions, problems, concerns? Awesome.
Anything else going on tonight? Any sign-ups for anything?
Go ahead, Steph.
I didn't hear you call it earlier, but are we gonna try to make the satellite contact? Did you call that?
Yes.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yep. Mark's been working on it. We tried some last year and we practiced a little bit. So I think we got something together this year. We'll make some. I do have sign-up sheets over here if anybody wants to sign up for specific times, specific bands, and some of it's taken. Most of it isn't. But if you've got some time you want to play with something, sign up. We'll know you're coming. I'd appreciate that very much. So, anybody else? Awesome.
Okay, Jason, you're up.
You can hand that.
Jason doesn't need that.
He does not?
You want me to yell at the fuzzy mic? I will take the clicker, Gary, since I know how to use it.
And it works.
Isn't that
So that I could get one that works. It's a logic.
very expensive? Very nice. So I shouldn't drop it?
So please don't.
All right, so Gary asked me to talk about some of the equipment changes that we've got going on, especially because the club's been investing in some of that. So we have a couple of things, new antenna system, a new field layout, as well as some new operating position plan, which I think Nick largely covered already. So one of the things that we've done as a club is we're trying to maximize the number of people that can get on the air while not having to maximize the number of antennas that we have to put up, because that's not nearly as fun as actually using them. Last couple of years we used a terminated folded dipole that unfortunately succumbed to being crushed last year, and it was not being an antenna. It wasn't even a dummy load. It was just like a wire that was not doing something.
Soaking up energy,
Yeah.
not transmitting it.
Yeah, it was a RF sync. How about that? So we're going back to, the club had used this 2019, I think. We're going to go back to some what are called SRI style fan dipoles. This is actually, the SRI fan dipoles are actually based on research that was done in the 60s, which is a reminder that physics doesn't change. Does this have a laser in it, Gary?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Don't look at it.
No, not here.
Nick's gonna start chasing it.
Nick? So this was done actually for the military at the time on how do you deploy efficient HF antennas in the field. There's a paper, if you search for a field guide to simple HF dipoles, it's really, really interesting and full of lots of exciting physics. So if you like exciting physics things, it's a good paper. If you're not into exciting physics things, just use this picture. Like, those are your choices, read the paper or look at the picture. But they lay out a formula for creating three-phase, that'd be interesting. A three-band dipole, a fan dipole, where there's a couple of things. They give you some starting point formulas on how to start the wires for lengthwise. And then one of the big findings was on what's marked in this picture as C and E, in terms of how far apart the elements should be. That's a big component of how you can effectively tune and maintain one of these. I put these slides together 2 days ago and I've already forgot what's in them. That's a commentary on the week I've had. Basically, this C here is 14 centimeters, or about 5 3/4 inches, to separate the termination points. And you can kind of see here they just sort of have a coax kind of tied on there. We have a bound. I'll show that in a minute. This is the big one though. Is the ends, you want to keep 1 meter or about 39.5 inches apart when you get to the end, and that allows to create the right resonance and the right harmonics, such that you're not fighting each wire as you make it longer and shorter. The formulas here: the top dipole is a little bit shorter than a standard half wave dipole or a quarter wave dipole. The center is the normal formula. The bottom is a little bit longer, and then we're doing a bit of an inverted V setup just because no one wants to put out like more towers and supports. So this is kind of what the center point looks like I mentioned. These are some ring terminals with some copper strap that goes down the middle. This is a Ballon Designs 1110D, which is a really good one-to-one current Ballon to have a nice clean signal. That's the center point. And then this is sort of what each side looks like. There's some calculations on here. These are the starting calculations. This is not what the calculation came out to be. I had a serious argument with math on the 20-meter leg.
Who won?
The wireman. The wireman won. Somehow, after I went back and did this math again, and it was right, but I ended up having to add like 1.5 feet on each one of these bottom legs. I don't know. I don't know why, but that's how it worked out, and they actually worked pretty well. So, yeah, so we're going to have 2 fan dipoles. One of them is going to be the 80-40-20. One of them is going to be a 20-10-15. Now, the reason we're doing that is because we have the equipment to do it. What happened to my triplexer?
Hey, I just.
The triplexi-er, this is equipment we've had for the last couple of years. The last couple of years, though, we only had one 20-meter station and these 2 hooked together to one antenna. What we're going to try this year, and it's going to depend on a couple of factors, including getting the antennas in the right space, the filters working well, and whatever radios we end up using on 20 meters having good front-end selectivity. We're going to have one set on the 80-40-20. This 20 is actually cut very high frequency-wise. I think it's centered at like 14,275, I think. So it's resonant. It's under 2 to 1 across the phone portion of the 20-meter band, and then it's very not resonant above that. This 20 meter is cut very low. I think the middle point's like 14,067. So this is sort of the FT8 CW station, and this one is going to be the voice station. It's not clear if we'll really be able to run these at the same time, especially with something like FT8. But we're going to give it a shot. We're going to have a separate 6 meter. I thought we were, Nick's gone. Oh, there's Nick. You said we were going to have a 6, 2, and 70. I thought we're going to have a separate 6 and a separate 2 and 70, right? Because we have the free VHF station. Right. Okay. So the club bought a 6 meter dipole as well. That's in the bin, and by that I mean the bin that's been in my garage that Nick dropped off at my house. It's not going to be in my garage after Saturday, which I'm very excited about. But we're going to have a 6 meter station with a dipole and maybe a vertical as well. I think, you mentioned a vertical. And then we're going to have a 20 meter, 70 centimeter station. And then not pictured is if we want to break off one of these radios to do a 160 and 160 antenna. At night.
If we find somebody to put the antenna,
Yeah.
we're looking this afternoon.
Yeah. There's not a lot of contacts during field day on 160, so.
No, but it's fun.
Yeah, but as long as I'm not the one doing the work, then you can do whatever you want. But as you'll notice here, Nick talked about being a 7 alpha station. There's 8 red boxes. You do get the free VHF station, so we're going to have one of those for you. Do we what? A dipole, yeah. Which remind me, Nick, I got to get that out of the bin that's up in the top of my garage.
Oh, I thought it was still in the big one.
Is it? I have to look. I didn't think so. So this is where. So this setup, and then possibly peeling one of these off to do other things is where we get the 7 alpha. The reason we're doing that, and this comes up every year, is we could do something smarter like who's actually operating right now, or something you would do like a contest station where you have a lockout keying on each side, but that's too much work. So we're just taking the number of stations minus the free VHF station, and the plan is to be a 7 alpha station and operate that way. If you were here for the picking an antenna talk a couple months ago, we've taken a serious look at the geography of what we can do. Now that we've realized we can use the field behind the Legion Hall. So we're going to be setting up both of the dipoles, probably a little bit off center, but end to end, and going to be working on an axis of 130 to 310 as much as possible. That makes this very nicely broadbanded to almost all of the United States and Mexico and the Caribbean, as well as most of the places in Canada where people actually live. We are going to sadly omit Saskatchewan and the 3 hams that live in Saskatchewan, as well as anybody who's operating rowboat mobile from the Mid-Atlantic. So, if you're looking down the satellite view, this is what the Legion Hall is going to kind of look like. These are not perfectly to scale. Well, actually, I'm sorry. These are to scale, but it's not to orientation necessarily, because I made this before we finished that analysis. This is going to be the push-up mast is going to be, the middle of it's going to be kind of right here in this field. We do have a very long run of coax. It's going to run up into the building. This is going to be where the crank-up mast goes. This is going to be the 10-50. Sorry, this is going to be the 80-40-20. This one's going to be the 10-15-10 fan dipole. We're going to put these end to end as close as possible while staying in the footprint of the Legion Hall. And then this is also where the 6 meter dipole will be at a cross from the 20-15-10, and then there'll be the verticals on top of the push-up mast, or the crank-up mast. So that's kind of the operating plan in a nutshell for the antennas. We've done some work on the push-up mast. If you remember last year, we had a very serious false start because somehow the bottom mast piece got flipped upside down, and we had a half-hour game of where's the notch, which was not fun. So we had the antenna crew that came out, and that's the only people who are going to work on the mast this year because we practiced setting this up. We did a couple of things. One is, actually starting from the bottom, we did throw away the ropes that we were using the last couple of years. If you remember those, they were very stretchy and awful and tangly. So we ditched those. When we bought some real Mastrant guying type rope. That's really nice because you can largely just kind of give it a nice tug, even if it gets tangled, and it'll come apart pretty easily. Those are all cut to length. Where's Ben at? Right here. Oh, there's Ben. Ben came up with some good ideas on how we can do some better adjustive guying on the spikes. We also bought much longer spiral stakes to run those into the ground. Comprehensive, in all caps. We had fun with a paint pen. Lots of fun with a paint pen. Everything has numbers, letters, arrows, the word up. Actually, there's a big word up on a couple of the bars.
Did you get any of those pins?
I did not, because I think you said you bought some.
Okay, I just wondered if I need to bring mine or.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, I didn't buy. I ended up buying. We're gonna try, Ron. We're gonna replace these pins with the wire. What are they called, Ron? The wire lock pins. What's their actual name?
Well, they're hitch pins.
Hitch pins with the wire
Hitch pins,
gate.
They got a bail on them that
Yeah.
keeps them from flying out.
We also bought a base plate. That's just a very expensive piece of pointy steel. Yeah, it looked much more impressive in the brochure.
On the engineering side, it looks like it's like this big, and I saw it, and it's like, it's not this big.
Yeah, it looked a lot more impressive in the catalog than it really was, but it really does help with the stability. And then we also picked up an arm with a pulley on it that should make pulling stuff up. And Roan actually came out with a new instruction sheet that actually has all of the pieces labeled in order, which I thought was really nice of them. So this is now laminated and in the bin with the push-up mast. So this is kind of a picture. The cloudy sky does not do the blazing hot day that we did this justice. Just as we got this up, it was like all these clouds rolled in, and then as we started to take it down, it went back to like blazing clear sky sun. Like
No one brought a radio.
and, well, yeah, no one had a portable radio. I was personally okay with it because I had already operated them, but there were some people who were very disappointed in that. But I wasn't tearing my shack apart to bring a radio outside. But you can see here, this is the mast. This is that new arm on the top. These are the guy ropes, and then this is those spacers for the fan dipoles. They come off. We've got all this pre-cut, labeled, and ready to go. Nick mentioned we're going to have the. If you've been to the Legion Hall, there's we call it a storage closet, but it's actually a fairly decent sized room that's full of chairs and detritus. So we're going to pull all of the chairs and detritus out of the room, put the tables in there with some cooling, because if you've ever operated the Legion Hall, it's incredibly loud because you're in a concrete box. So we're going to try putting the radios in there, because not only is it hard for you to hear, it's really hard for the people on the other end of your transmission to hear you because of the noise. So we're going to kind of have some more, if you're an operator, you're in here. If you're not operating, you're not allowed in there. Kind of rules, keep it cool. That's sort of the plan. So, Russ.
If you can keep the area where I back my car up and the kitchen door, and keep that clear.
I doubt it.
Facing the back.
I doubt it because we gotta put the crank up mast on the truck.
Supposed to get loaded in.
Well, yeah, that's true. Are we gonna have the camper this
Yeah,
year?
that's where I go around, but that's kind of park as you're facing the back to the right of that door.
I think we can make that.
Yeah, don't put any guy wires or anything where, cause I got a ton of stuff to bring in.
Well, we'll have to see, cause we might just have to marshal people to carry it in. Cause is that camper gonna be there, Nick?
No, Phil's got something else to do, so we
That
don't have to
camper
see
would
you.
work too if they pull it away from the building.
So,
We'll get your food in for you, Ross. I promise you we want to eat.
Or I'll just take it all and go home, pies and everything.
Like that third tray of sausage.
I haven't, no, Gary, no.
I
keep
haven't
keep
forgotten about that.
Let's keep it on track. Let's keep it on track. Any other questions about the field day, or I guess any comments or concerns you addressed to Gary?
No.
So,
And I will forward them to Nick.
Sausages?
No. Any complaints?
Oh, yeah.
Problems?
I am the complaint reporter.
You are, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I do want to take a moment and thank everyone who, Nick and Jason especially, but then everyone else who's given a lot of time and effort into reworking this year's field day. I mean, so it's one thing to say, let's do better this year, and then put the same setup out and do the same thing again. You know, I think that speaks for itself that it doesn't work. So we actually put our effort where our mouth was. Now, it's still going to be fun. If it's not fun, I'm not participating. So it will be fun. But we will be a tad, at least a tad. I'm counting on a tad. How much is a tad? That much? Okay. I'm counting on a tad bit better performance this year. I really am.
or victory in the second.
Mike?
You need me the zero-G chair for you to sleep in?
Does it still collapse? Oh.
Well, I don't know, I haven't used it in a year, so
Ah, okay.
it was still in good condition the last time I do it, so.
All right. Well, you're going to be out, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Oh, cool. All right.
I'm gonna stop in and say hi, but I'm not gonna be there long enough to, I got 5 other places to be, so.
Oh, no.
Yeah, everything I needed to do this month is all happening this weekend, so.
Ah.
I'll try to break your chair.
We'll talk. I have some ideas on some insurance scams and stuff, I mean, sure.
Whoa, what happened?
Yikes.
Okay. That being said, let's give them a round of applause. Nice job.
I'd like to
Real.
thank Rick for the Crank Up Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Borrowing. So thank you very much, Rick. That's been a big plan for that this year. And
And Ben for his good suggestions.
Ben's been fabulous. He made it so that, yeah, it's a couple of things that he came up with, and same with Ron when we were putting up the masks, a couple ideas to make it a little bit easier, save some fingers, and definitely save some time. And I want everybody to wish Andy over there, AB8MO, a happy birthday.
Hey!
Not had anything said.
What's that?
I thought I was this close to not anybody saying anything.
No, how old are you today, Andy?
Yes, I was wrong.
How old are you today?
35. Too old.
Too old? Too old for what?
Yeah, 57.
57? Oh, that's my age. Happy birthday, Andy.
Also, why does this keep doing this?
I don't know, push a button.
If I ever need an answer, I go to Russ. I do.
And I'll give you an answer.
And I always get an answer. It's always wrong, mind you, but nevertheless. Also, we have dropped, if you haven't paid your dues, you've been dropped off the roster. And unfortunately, I did not put out my annual, well, I mean, I really have asked people to pay their dues. If you haven't paid your dues, you were dropped, but that doesn't mean that, that doesn't mean anything other than the fact that you're no longer on the roster. You're certainly entitled to continue coming to meetings and being superficially part of the club, I suppose.
Pay your dues.
Yeah, if you would pay your dues, I would appreciate it. Fred?
Secretary's job, it's difficult to find out, hey, these people, members were here, these people, guests were here, these people didn't pay their dues they were here. I mean, it's just difficult, so I think they pay their dues or, you know.
All right, well, that, and that'll happen. That'll happen. It's, we you know, we're kind of easy to get along with. You know, nobody's going to pressure or just pay your dues. Yeah, Fred. You paid your dues, Fred. I saw it.
Well, you know, I can never see you pay their dues under here. Dues kind of tricks with them and you learn all that. I'm no Bill Gates, so. If you pay your treasurer, you gotta do what? You gotta do. Pay the treasurer. Like state your arm.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I can't tell, I can never get the members list to pop up anyhow.
We email it every month. Every month, yeah. Every month it gets emailed.
And then it says to open up in, certain,
Google, Firefox, yeah.
It should
when
work.
I open up other documents, but not that membership of, just the way it is. If someone tells me they are members, I take it as face value.
Well, I will tell you this. I don't, from moment to moment, I truly don't know who's a member or not. I mean, I assume if you're around that you're somehow affiliated with the club. But again, you know, we're not going to beat anybody up.
This is all my family.
I pay dues.
Well, the reason you pay dues is because so we can have things like field day and buy that equipment that we did and do the stuff with the antennas and the picnics, et cetera, et cetera. That's why we do that. Anyway, that is how we fund the club. So there you have it. All right, any questions, comments, concerns, anything for the good of the cause? Anybody?
Get your 50-50.
Fred?
I have a joke, do you want to hear it?
No.
No.
It's really good.
Well, Tom will just use it on
I'll tell Tom.
Tom will use it on Wednesday. All right, yeah, no, we're gonna get moving here. Next, 50-50 raffle.
Last chance to get your 50-50.
Speak once.
For every voted piece. I think it's $70.
All right. Do it.
Where's Betty?
Where's Betty? Here, let me take it. Did you pull all the Dick's tickets out of there?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Can you grab it?
Grab one, Betty.
Betty.
Only one, only one.
Oh, she did it. Good job.
Yay! Can you give it to your mom?
All right,
Can
read
I
off
see
the
it?
number, Betty.
Blah, 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 blah.
Okay, I win.
Wait a minute. Where's my tickets at? All right.
I don't know
Do
if
you
Russ
want
wants to
this?
do it or-
Okay, here's. You want to do it? All right. The number is 200
Yeah, I win.
475. Here you
Did
go.
not win.
All right, Tom.
There we go. All right, Tom? Oh, wow. Good job.
Just grab it, Mike.
It-
I am.
anybody but Dick. All right.
Just a
got
reminder,
it?
all the stuff that's left on the bar is from Zeke's estate. Anything left on the bar.
Goes in the trash.
By the time I leave, is going in the trash. It's not going back to my garage, it's not going back to Jeff's garage. So if you even think you want it, take it. If not, it's going in the bin.
All right, motion to adjourn. Marty, second. Stefan. All in favor? Yeah, all right, thank you very much. Nice meeting, guys. Thank you very much.